Now let's talk about the role of minorities. The enslaved responded to their oppression in many different ways. Although many slaves attempted to run away, in a sense, only few openly rebelled because the consequences were very, very harsh. Some survived by relying on their own communities. Some also relied on their own family ties. And for the most part, they relied on their religious faith, their Christian faith. Most of the free blacks in the South were mulattoes, and some even owned their own slaves, often purchasing members from their own family. There's also a group of people called the planter class. These are owners of large farms who also own 50 to more slaves, actually formed a small minority of the southern population. 3/4 of the southern whites own fewer than 6. But this minority, these large slave owners, exercise political and economic power far beyond their population. Now, perhaps 500,000 of white Southerners lived, in the edge of agrarian economy in a way that, they lived in various degrees of poverty down in the South. They occupied barren soils, and they lived in red hills, sandy bottoms. They are, in a way, in a situation where sometimes could be worse than living as a slave. And they were known to be a form of the underclass. Now, let's go back to slavery. We must remember that the most significant demographic shift in 3 decades, or in these decades, during this time, was the movement of black from the Old South to the New Southwest. Traders shipped many slaves by thousands to the new open cotton lands of the Gulf states, all the way to the new territories that were purchased, that was added to the United States. Although the importation of slaves, from abroad was outlawed, by Congress in 1808, they continued to really bring in or smuggled in slaves until, I would say, the 1850s. The importation ban kept the price up and ultimately encouraged the continuation of the internal trade. The role of women in the South and the North were different. Women has fewer opportunities for anything but home life. The middle class was ultimately, if you were a wife, most of your heavily involvement is going to be within the family, and also you ended up managing the operations of the farm, and you ended up being the nurse to those slaves that might be hurt or might need medical care. Now, they're in a way disrespected by their husband because sometimes their husband also slept with women slaves, and hence this gave this whole new population, especially in the South, children that are mixed in race. High birth and death rates took their toll in the childbearing women, and many outlived their several wives. Now, as you could see, you've probably been seeing some movies or films that portray some of this situation. Now, I encourage you to watch those movies or to even supplement your readings by looking at the review book, but also other resources so that you could really understand what was happening in the Old South and the whole idea of slavery and their relationship with the people who owned the farms during that time.